We are in great company here at Gamescom 2016. We're catching up on Dead Rising 4. Well, for those who are completely unfamiliar, don't know anything, Dead Rising 4, give us the quick pitch.
Dead Rising 4 is Frank West. He's back. He's back in Willamette, 16 years after the first outbreak. And he's back to sort of investigate what's going on because there's something new happening in Willamette.
That is a good short introduction to it, and I got some questions for you, but I'm going to turn to you next. What is it that you wanted to do in terms of the sort of the gameplay, the mechanics for this fourth game? How did you want to sort of mix it up a little bit and change it up for the players?
So one of the hallmarks of Dead Rising has been combos, comboing their weapons, comboing their vehicles. So we decided to take it one notch up and combo yourself. So you can put on this big armored powered exosuit, and you can run around, you can punch cars and tear things off the wall that you could not normally do. And people were happy with that, punching cars, throwing zombies across the street. But we also let you combo the exosuit as well. So you can go down and got your exosuit on, you can find something like an old arcade machine and go, yeah, I could put that together with my exosuit and make something completely stupid, which is what we do. And we do it a lot. And so that's really the push, the exosuit and Frank, and you're gonna need them because the zombies are tougher and weirder than before.
The question I was thinking of asking you is like, this is an interesting setup for an art director to explore. Yeah. 16 years later, an environment that people are kind of familiar with, what's changed, how has it changed, what kind of things goes into that vision?
Well, we're big fans of the game ourselves at the studio, and so we wanted to make sure that we're honoring Dead Rising and where it comes from. Obviously now, with the generation of hardware that we've got with the Xbox, we know we can do so much more. And we also wanted to evolve Frank a little bit more, so age him a little bit. It's 16 years on for him. He's had a lot of other experiences. And Willamette itself has gone through a lot. So we wanted to honor Willamette and sort of keep some of the elements of it that we knew people were going to be familiar with, but also expand that. And so you get to play in the mall, you get to play in the town, and you get to explore a lot of the world. It's a huge world, lots of hidden areas, lots of different things to do and explore.
So I could imagine that there was also a lot of sort of hidden wings, sort of hidden things that you could sort of explore, maybe one or two loose threads from that first game, or maybe even later games that you can sort of tease players with and insert into that world.
There are a few elements that people will recognize from Dead Rising 1. What we really wanted to do with this story, though, was tell Frank's story, the rest of Frank's story. So this is really picking up where we left off with Frank and then closing that story off with him.
Something I want to ask you about is E3 was your sort of first exposure to, you know, the public, or, well, games press and trade people, whatever, playing the game. What kind of things do you take away from that experience and that sort of influence where you're taking the game, and what direction you're taking the game now?
You know, game makers everywhere think they know what they want to make all the time. So we have this perfectly crafted experience. We know exactly what we're doing, and it isn't until you get in front of normal human beings where they start playing the game and you see what they do. And we saw what they did, and they just want to mess stuff up. They just want to go around and knock stuff around. They want to combo. They want to blow things up. They want to do stupid things in the game. And so it's our mission to create stupidity tools for the user. There's a great story in our game. There's a whole bunch of hidden stuff. There's great character development. There's a whole bunch of hidden stuff in the game. And then you go, here, try it out. And they go, I just want to go blow up that car and I want to run around in circles, and that's okay too. And so I think the thing that we've learned is that we are really giving people a sandbox to play in. And eventually, after they're running around on the road, they'll go, okay, now I'm done on the road. What am I doing here? Oh, there's a mission. I'll go play the mission. But on the way to the mission, there'll be some side content quests or a survivor asking for help. And you go, oh, it's the perfect ADD video game ever, right? Because if you are like easily distracted, we give you tons of things to do. So I think that we've done a good job at providing an outlet for people to do that. And watching people play the game has been really satisfying. We've had a demo running here today, and people brought their GoPros in, and they put the GoPro on top of the TV, because some people have never played the demo, and some people have never played the game before, and they wanted to video their own reactions to stuff, and it was pretty funny watching people blow stuff up and how they react. And that's been super satisfying, seeing that how people that make video games have an idea how people play them, but it isn't until you sit down and watch them actually play the game that you realize what you're doing right and what you may want to fix.
It's an interesting analogy to Frank West as well, because he is that sort of character who puts himself into a situation as well. I mean, if you're filming yourself having an experience, you could say that's what a photographer is doing as well, especially with the selfie function as well. How would you say, like in your terms, like Frank West, obviously bringing him back is a big deal, but how do you sort of go about, you know, it's been 16 years, he has changed, you know, that's a tricky thing, to change a character that people have this sort of relationship with.
You know, it's like teaching your parents how to use Instagram. You know,
I've never done that.
They want to be cool, right? I want to do what the cool people are doing, and they usually fail miserably, and it's usually pretty fun to watch. And sort of like that with Frank. I mean, Frank's older, but he's smarter now, and he's still a smart ass, but he's been through zombie apocalypses and he's covered wars. So, you know, we really want to play that Frank's still got a fairly healthy ego, but he's kind of mellowed out in the sense that he'll still go charging in to save the day, and he'll look like an idiot doing it. And it doesn't matter to him how bad he looks anymore, because he goes, yeah, I've seen that, I've done that, right? You know, the phrase I throw all the time is that Frank will run in and save the day, and he'll fall off a building and bounce off an awning and land on the ground. He won't stick the landing. He's not graceful at all. But he doesn't care if he's graceful anymore, because he's not trying to impress anybody, because everybody's dead. They're all zombies. So we really did a lot of character development with Frank. And you know, some people said, Frank doesn't look 50. It's like, yeah, he actually does, because I'm 50. And I think I look cool. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? We tried to make Frank a little more relevant. So
interesting. Another thing that I got to ask you about is as an art director for a game where people kind of take pleasure in making the weirdest combinations of costumes and things like that, how do you sort of, do you even try to keep it coherent, or do you just embrace the fact that it's going to be a juxtaposition of whatever people want to express?
I think that's half the fun of our game. You know, like we talked a lot early on about where does the humor come from our game, and I think a lot of it comes from the players making it themselves, finding things in the world, trying them on. If you want to go grab a turkey mascot head and throw that on, and then have a serious conversation with somebody about the zombie outbreak, you can do that. We leave stuff all over the world for you, and it's up to you how you want to play it. If you want to go and throw on a ridiculous, like a ballerina tutu, and then grab a machine gun and then head into the zombies, you can do that if you want. If you want to play it straight up like Frank West in the outfit that he has at the beginning of the game, you can do that too. It's up to the player, and I think that's where we find a lot of the fun, is just let the user play it the way they want to, funny or straight.
One thing that has happened since the announcement of Dead Rising 4 is the announcement of Dead Rising 1, 2, and off the record, 4 new consoles. It's a big year for Dead Rising, to put it mildly. What does that mean for you guys to sort of have that come out, sort of preluding the big new game?
I think for us, it's kind of a celebration of the history of Dead Rising, the legacy of Dead Rising. Somebody asked me earlier today, they said, you know, zombies are really hot all the time, and what is it about Dead Rising? What is it? And I said, it's because there's nothing else like it. If I was to describe Dead Rising to you and you'd never played it, you would go, it sounds ridiculous. I don't want to play that. What do we have? I'm wearing a dress and I'm driving a little teeny weeny car and I'm saving humanity against man-eating zombies. It sounds kind of stupid, but that's what makes Dead Rising great. And you know, with the release of all the older ones, it lets people that may not have played those original ones, because that was 10 years ago. You know, a lot of people that are playing Dead Rising 4, that will play Dead Rising 4, it would very well be their very first Dead Rising game. So it was a great opportunity for you to go back and play how it all got started.
It is very cool, but we're looking forward to Dead Rising 4. Give us all the release details, all that you can divulge.
Sure. Dead Rising 4 out December 6th this year, and pre-orders are on now, so go buy your copy.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To go gliding in a one-horse sleigh, mixed